So now you go in with the situation, the break-ins and all that kind of stuff. You go in and you're 14. When you get out, you're 17, going on 18?
Yeah, by the time everything is done, because like I said, it's a thing. When they give you an indeterminate number in Jersey, it's like over here in New York where they give you like a 3 to life, a 1 to life. You know what I mean? So they making it a revolving door. You understand what I'm saying? So I went in and out, went in, came out. One time I stayed out 30 days. One time I stayed out 60 days. You know what I mean? Might stay out 2 months, but you go back and forth. By the time my whole turmoil with my criminal activities ended, you know what I mean, was in 87. And at that time, my brother just got locked up in January 1st, 87. My older brother that...
Peter that?
No, I'm not talking about Paul. My oldest brother, that's the Rasta. He's the one that brought me out there, him and Camel and, you know, and my people's in Brooklyn. But once I come home, he's gone. You understand what I'm saying? But this is who I watch do everything. One of the ones...
He's gone.
He's in prison.
He's back.
He's up north. You know what I mean? He was doing 7.5 to 21. You know what I mean? So now I come home and I was raised to be a soldier.
17 or so.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was raised to be a soldier. So I never thought of doing things on my own. I was just taught to do things for him. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, from doing that, when I came home, he gone. So now I had to make my own way. And I remember he had us in Harlem. You know what I mean? He had a spot on 154th Street himself, a weed spot with Jimmy. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how I know the polo grounds in that area. So when I came home, I was driving down the street. I seen Jimmy. I pulled over, hollered at him. He let me know, yo, this is what they doing with the crack now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's where the money is at. They got a bunch of buildings up that block on 154th that's abandoned. You know, you can set up shop like you and your brother had it. But he's saying me and my brother when I was just a soldier.
All right.
You understand? But now I gotta be a chief.
Was he referring to the weed gate, the spot that you had up there by
No, not Mecca Audio.
No. I'm talking about when you were in that abandoned building.
Yeah, no, that's why I went into the abandoned building. Oh. But when I'm saying back in like 70, about 80, 81, my brother had a Herb Gates, a store that used to sell weed on 154th Street. Right now, today, it's a smoke shop. You know, where they sell the pipes and all that. But my brother had a weed spot there, and that's how I got introduced to Harlem, you know, on the street level with hustling. But I used to go to Mark IV, like I said, and, you know what I mean, and Ecstasy Garage, you know what I mean, and Harlem World, you know what I mean? But that's where I was on the ground hustling at with my brother. But now he's gone, and I done did everything there already, understand the mechanics, and Jimmy older than me, but he looked up to my brother and looked up to me because I ran the spot. So he's telling me like, yo, y'all was selling weed, but right now they got a new thing out here called cocaine. And it's crack, it's crack. And they got the building up there, and that's where, you know, I ran into Lodge. You know what I mean? That's Craig Singleton. I was with him out in New Jersey. He got locked up in Jersey doing this back and forth. I told you with the burglaries with me, Jeff, Leroy, and, you know, Mike, Mann, and all of them. But so now I run into Lodge, and I'm asking Lodge, yo, what's up? They telling me about this crack thing going on. He said, yeah, you make a killing because you already know how to do the weed thing right up there, man. That's my block. I had a spot in the last building. You know what I mean? So when he telling me that, I went with Jimmy and I went up there. I set up shop and, you know, did my thing. It's a little funny story, you know, with Preacher with the Door and Lodge, but, you know, I'm not going to get into that. Go read the book of Roy and Harlem, man. You know?
So the building you were in 54, y'all were closer to Bradhurst because we were like the second to last building before 8th.
No. You talking about you was with Chrissy. You must have been with Chrissy. The second building was Chrissy's building.
Yeah, I was in Chrissy's building.
That's the second building. No, when I came, I went to the fourth building closer to the post office in McCombs.
Yeah, closer to McCombs, right. I'm sorry, McCombs. I'm going to say McCombs. I mean Brad.
Black Vinny, you know, big shout out to Vinny.
They had Black Door. Vinny and them had Black Door close to Bradhurst.
Was crushing them with the Black Door. Because that was the biggest competition in the neighborhood. Dudes don't know, Jimmy's, you know, Vinny is a genius.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That Black Door was crushing him, and he did that by himself with no help.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But when I came, the Black Door was kicking it, so nobody even went towards Bradhurst and 8th Avenue because, you know, and right now it's like a big condominium. Yep. But, you know, Vinny had the Black Door over there, was killing them. Big shout out to Jimmy. You know, I mean, Vinny.
No
you know
doubt.
what I mean? Yeah, you know, Black Vinny. I've seen him all the time since I've been home. Good brother.
Man, I haven't seen Vinny in so many
but
years,
Vinny knew
man.
how to move. He didn't get caught up in all that. But now I went up in the Macomb side by the post office where you and what's the name was at? Because you said he was there. What's the name? That's
Big
where
Boo.
Chrissy was at. That had the little Hyundai with all the stuffed
Big
animals.
Steve, Rob.
Exactly. But y'all must have been there in like 86, 85.
80, yep, that's right, 85.
All right, that's when I was
I
going
got
through.
there in 85.
That's when I was doing all this time in Jersey. When I came out was 87.
Yep.
So when I come out, y'all already left, and those buildings now was abandoned from y'all going in it.
Yep.
Because that's where the funny story come in about the door, because dude tried to come tell me that I owed him for the door, because there was a steel door that was left on one of the apartments.
That's right.
So they're going to tell me about this steel door, belong, you know what I mean?
Still
to them.
doing this abandoned building, yeah.
Belonged to them, and I had to pay them. You know what I mean? So you know me, I just pulled out my joint, started bucking them. Here go your payment, nigga. You know what I mean? Catch this bullet. That's your payment. You know what I mean? So, just let them know what time it was, man. But, big shout out to Large, because Large came around there. He squashed it, let him know, y'all, I know him from jail in Jersey. He be over here all over the boroughs. He ain't no sucker. If you want to bring it to him, I'm telling you to bring it, but I'll let you know now he not going for that bullshit about no door. You know what I mean? So, we did our little thing, and, I got a little couple of scuffles with Chrissy, because remember you had Dietrich and Jamel was dealing with Chrissy. So you already know that's after y'all, you left the block with him. But then we had my man Tyler was in the first building, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is, man. So we just went up there and did what we had to do. But
now,
at the time, I used to run up the hill to go cop from Broadway.
That's what I want you to talk about.
Yeah, I used to go up the hill to go cop from Broadway, up there by the McDonald's that Jay-Z talked about. I used to go to the McDonald's, But I used to go up there, but we used to go to 144th Street, you know what I mean, and Broadway, between Broadway and between 44th and 45th, where the KP Kong was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Home of the 5411s and the Air Force Ones.
That's right.
But I used to go up there and cop from them, and I'm making 3-4 trips in 2 hours. Long as it take me to bag that damn crack up, like you say, because you already know it's time consuming. By the time you done bagged that shit up and you done took it on the block, that shit sold and you had to run back up the hill. You know what I mean? And everybody else around me was running up the hill. Yep. So that's why I said, nah, I ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? There's no way in hell I'm going to keep running up the hill to spend my money when I could get some goddamn drugs, take it up the hill and get all the money, or get my own drugs around here and get the money. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Stop them from going up there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I hooked up with my man from your block, you know what I mean? Wani, big shout out to Wani,
Shout out to the little bro Wani.
And his brother Booby, you already know what it is. Chocolate.
He was a kid.
Exactly. But I hooked up with them, and these is dark-skinned Dominicans, not as dark as me, but they look like they black Dominicans.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So, and then we had my man Felipe, that was up there on 152nd, you know what I mean? So I used to go up there and I met, a dude named, I didn't even say his name because y'all know who he is, Green Eyes. You know what I mean? But I met Green Eyes, and Green Eyes gave me my first key. You know what I mean? I went and sold my first kilo. I'm all happy. I'm bringing me a little $12,000. And
12,000.
Yeah, 12,000. You know what I mean? I'm parked in the garage on Bradhurst in 155th.
Yep.
So I'm leaving the joint.
I seen you coming out of there when I was parking up my car. You was coming out. I was going in. And you was talking to
and that's
yourself.
where Kevin Childs had the red Mercedes Benz with
red 4-door convertible 190.
Convertible 190. You know what I mean? So I'm coming up out of there. That's why I used to meet my man Green Eyes at, hit him off, do our thing. And, Green Eyes was watching me. He's like, yo, I see you already got a lot of respect here, because Green Eyes was there because he had a baby by somebody in the building, another Spanish female in the building. So that's why he was in that little area. But they brothers, I ain't gonna say no name, was gorillas. So they had their foot on his neck. But you know what I mean? He knew it was money there, and he saw that I had my foot, in the hood. So he came to me and said, look, man, I'll give it to you for 12 apiece, as long as, you know what I mean, you can move it to these dudes. So that's where I started selling the weight in 54th Street. You understand what I'm saying? To kind of cut the traffic from going up. You know what I mean?